At the beginning of my trading journey, I was so focused on learning high probability strategies that would help me buy and sell. But I failed until I learned how to do top-down analysis the right way. In this video, I'll be showing you step by step the timeframes I use and how I complete top-down analysis so that you can have a solid understanding and see improvement in your trading results.
First things first, why should you do top-down analysis? Why is it important? Number one, it gives a clear picture of what is truly happening with the stock, futures, or pair that you are trading. For my forex traders here, it helps you understand what is truly happening on a higher time frame all the way down to the lower time frames. And once you have a clear picture, you're able to trade. And once you do that, you then have conviction in your trading plan. You have confidence for the first time and you start to understand it. Your confidence grows. Your conviction when you do that thing increases. It's the same thing with top-down analysis. Number three, it increases the probability of the trade working out. When all the time frames are in alignment, that's beautiful. You understand what's going on and you're able to take your trades, and then you have more winners than losers. And it also increases your risk to reward ratio on your trades because you're able to catch big moves. Now I'm going to explain the time frames, the durations, and how to use them. So time frame number one is the higher time frame. What I consider the higher time frame is the monthly, although not monthly time frame, although it's not shown here, but the monthly, the weekly, daily, and the 4-hour time frame. What do you use it for? You use these time frames to determine your bias or the overall trend on that name that you're trading, that asset you're trading. Now you have the medium time frame, which is like the 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute. You use it to develop your setup. I personally use the 1 hour time frame and the 15-minute time frames to build my setup. Like, I have videos going over the 15-minute strategy. I'm yet to make the video around this 1 hour key level time frame because that's where I get my key levels from to trade. But you use the medium time frame to get your setup, whether you're trading breakouts, break and retest, price actions, SMT, fair value, whatever it is, you use it to develop that setup. And then your lower time frames, such as your 5 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute, are mainly used for entries. So you want to think of it like this so you can remember it. You have your bias, and then you have your setup, and then you have your execution, level to level. Bias, setup, execution. A nice analogy you can have is when you have a group of friends and you want to go out, you first agree on a destination, and then you most likely all take the same route and you drive on the same road, same path, same direction. So it follows a sequence. Before I move on to the next thing, I just want to mention that I just released a free ebook. I released it ahead of time. I was going to drop it for my birthday just to say thank you to everybody that has watched my videos and subscribes to my channel. It's a way to say thank you and just to give back. I really appreciate you all. So just click the link in the description and it should give you the link to put your information and download it. But thank you so much. I'll move on to the next slide. So now, when you're looking at the higher time frames, you want to use the weekly, daily, 4-hour to build your weekly outlook. I made a video explaining how I prepare for the week. You can also check it out on my channel, or I can also link it in the description as well for you to watch. And you pay attention to the following. Number one is the trend. What is the trend on the higher time frame? Then you now have a bias, because from the trend, you would know if we are uptrending, which is bullish, or we are downtrending, which is bearish, or we are in range. And with that, you don't want to touch it. Ideally, for the setups that I explain here, you want clean trend. Now, number three, you want to understand the market sentiment. From the higher time frames, and reviewing things and looking at news reports as well, you're able to gauge if, hey, this looks like we might sell and coming into this week if we fail certain levels. Now, the higher time frame alignment is important. You want to look and make sure that you have the monthly time frame, weekly time frame, daily, and 4-hour. If they're all screaming bullish, then any setup you take to the upside has a higher probability of working out. it dramatically increases the probability of your trade working out if you can get time frame alignment. Now, if you have a scenario where on the monthly it's bearish, on the weekly it looks bullish based on the candlestick formations, right, and how the chart looks, I'll show more examples in this video so that you get the full picture. On the daily, maybe it's not bearish. On the 4 hour, it's still bullish. This you want to most likely just stay away. It's low probability, it's not clear. There are hundreds of tickers that you can trade. It doesn't have to be that chart that you're looking at and you're like, it's not clear. The best chart is very clear. It screams at you, hey, we're selling, hey, we're bearish, and you're able to know. For example, on this name SNDK, it was moving a lot in this January and this past 2 weeks. On SNDK, just looking at the weekly time frame here, what do we see? You have higher lows and higher highs, right? It's an uptrend. It's clear that this is an uptrend. So good. And then you now move to the daily. After it broke out of this consolidation, this chop, which you didn't want to trade at that time, you can see now it's trending higher. So what? It's bullish. And you want to look at when you're looking at the daily time frame, you want to just look back at like the previous, say, 5 to 8 sessions if you're a day trader. So you look at it, okay, based on this action, we're definitely trending. So it's bullish. Good. Now you come down to the 4-hour time frame and you can see that it is also bullish. It hits the criteria that I talked about here. It is now high probability and you keep that on your radar. Now, talking about the medium time frames. The medium time frames are special, especially for people that day trade and scalp. You want to use your 1 hour, 15 minutes to build your trading plan a day before or during your pre-market planning, and pay attention to your key levels. Remember earlier I said that I use the 1 hour time frame to draw my levels, and it also would give you direction and any news report that might impact the asset class or sector you trade. Look at the news. If you have CPI, FOMC, GDP, what is going to impact the names that I'm trading, or even earnings report can even impact the names that you trade and how you trade them that week. So for news and economic report resources, you can use Forex Factory to know when, for example, Trump was speaking. You want to know when Trump is speaking for sure. Or you pay attention to the orange and red folder days. You can filter to make sure that it shows you only the orange and red folder reports. So, for example, now on Thursday, January 22nd, there's final GDP numbers that will come out and unemployment claims. You want to pay attention to this time. It shows 5:30 because it shows 8:30, and this is Eastern time, for those wondering. I'm sure you all know if you're familiar with the market. But you want to understand when you have red folder, because then you're able to gauge, hey, how am I going to trade S&P 500 index? Or how am I going to trade futures around these events? Oh, what is the sentiment? What did Trump say and how does it affect the name I'm going to trade? Semiconductors, how is the tariff and permissions with China going? Like little things like that affect the probability of your trade working out, but some people tend to ignore it. You also have a corner there that goes into details and shows you like things like treasury buyback announcement, 3-month bill, and more technical things. But you get the point. Just be aware of how different news affects the name that you're trading. Now, when it comes to key levels, I personally have a secret way that I draw them for it to be so accurate. But in this video, I'm just going to go over it really quickly because if for me to explain how to draw key levels, it would be a longer video. And I just want this video to be straight to the point so that you can understand and implement it in your own trading so you see good results. So when it comes to key levels, just pay attention to where you have old highs and old lows. Old lows, like when a stock is in an uptrend, for example, you have higher lows and higher highs, and you have that staircase effect. I tend to pay attention. Okay, this is a key level. Why? Because sellers pushed the price down, but yeah, we ended up breaking it. And then it will most likely retest later to keep on going higher. That's how I think about it when I'm drawing my key levels, old highs and old lows, and where you have those inflection points. Inflection points are where you see that the level where buyers or sellers stepped in to flip trend. Like if buyers stepped in, for example, you're drawing a higher high and higher low, and buyers stepped in here to push this thing higher. That's a key level for me. Buyers stepped in to push this higher. That's a key level for me. Sellers stepped in here to push this away, push this down a little bit. That's a key level for me. Just think about it that way and draw it out. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the description, in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer them. Or follow me on Instagram and DM me, and I'll answer your questions. So that's how you draw key levels. Now the lower time frame. I've made a lot of videos around the lower time frame. You want to use the 5 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute to execute your trades, and pay attention to the following. You want to develop your setup. You want to understand the intraday trend. What is the trend on that specific day as the market opened or the session you're trading? What is the trend? Is it up or is it down? Again, remember, does it align? Is it like when you start from the top and you're going to the medium and to low, like, is it moving in unison? Is it confusing, or is it really clear what direction it's going? Then you want to develop your entries and exits and manage your risk, your stop loss, and also you identify relative strength and weakness on that day. Now, refresher on the setup. So you can trade the previous day's high and previous day's low retest, which is pretty straightforward and easy. I've also made a video around this. And the other block of fair value retest, that's another strategy. There's so many strategies. Opening range retest. I've explained this on this channel as well. Key level retest, opening drive. There's so many, but you build your setup based on what these lower time frames are telling you, how you're going to end up trading the name, or finding an entry and an exit and managing your risk is based on the lower time frame if you're day trading. Now, I'm going to just go over relative strength and weakness. This one is an icing on the cake. Once you add this to your trading and you're able to identify when a stock is strong or weak compared to the overall market. For example, here in this chart, you have QQQ and MU. QQQ is basically the ETF that holds the tech stocks. So a lot of the big tech names are in this basket, and it's called QQQ. Think of a basket, and it's like, okay, put all the apples in a basket, put all the oranges in a separate basket. That's what QQQ is made up. The big tech names. So usually, if you're trading the tech stocks, you want to look at QQQ to see if it's strong or weak, or if that name is strong relative to QQQ, or if it's weak. In this case, as you can see, when QQQ was pushing up, MU was also pushing up. That's a good sign. QQQ started to reverse and ended up coming back down to around the area it opened. But you can see that MU is still holding trend. So what that means is that when QQQ finally stops selling and tries to reverse, MU will most likely go back to the highs. I hope that's clear. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section. Another example is QQQ and SNDK, Sandex. SNDK was the chart that I showed earlier when I was showing you higher time frames. This name has been really strong. Again, when you look at it, QQQ showing strength and then eventually later on weakness, but this name just stayed strong all through. That is relative strength. The opposite is true for weakness. Maybe the market is holding up and maybe a name like Tesla is selling. It means that at QQQ would eventually maybe break down, Tesla will most likely sell more. That's how to think about it. Now, this is my P&L for a trade I actually took on SNDK using all I've explained to you. I saw that it was strong on all the time frames, and then I built my thesis and I took a previous day's high retest on this name, and I made just over $600 trading it. So it works. I specifically put that name so I can show you that it actually works. And that's like the cleanest example in a long time. Now, I'm not going to end this video without giving you useful tips. And I just have one. If it's not clear, if the chart is not screaming, this is bullish, all time frames align, especially at the beginning of your journey, skip it and make things easy for yourself. If it's complex and you're not so sure, leave it, ask questions, ask your mentor, so that you can gain understanding on how to trade that name. Because it's not every time you're gonna have that alignment. Sometimes you'd have to play based on what the 1 hour time frame and 15-minute time frame is telling you, and then in that case you have to take profits quicker. You're scalping, you're in and out within like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So that's it for this video. I hope you found some value. If you did, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.